I have 4 kids, and whenever somebody finds out, their number one question for me is, how do you afford it? And they're not typically asking how I afford things like groceries or my house or even the kids' clothes, which are all incredibly expensive. But they are wondering how I afford childcare, after school care, summer camp, or even just extracurricular activities, because everything is so expensive. And so for context, I'm gonna break down the cost for you right now. My 2 youngest kids are in full-time daycare. One is almost 4 and one is over 2 years old. So it's like a pre-K program and a toddler program. That is $3,000 a month, which is actually like a pretty good deal here in Massachusetts. Then my older kids are 6 and 7, so they're in public school. There's this weird idea that once they hit public school, the cost just like disappears. It does not, okay? On average in our town, it's anywhere between $40 to $50 a day for after school care. That's 2.5 hours of care, okay? And where we go, it's a little over $40. So we're spending about $2,000 a month on after school care. So all in, that's $5,000 a month for after school care, daycare for our kids. So $60,000 a year. But that does not even include summer camp, right? Summer camp for us this summer was just shy of $7,000 for the 2 kids. And we go to a more affordable summer camp because in this area, the cheapest is like $350 a week and the most expensive far exceeds $500 a week. And that's if you don't need after camp care or before camp care, because that adds to the price, right? And so when people ask me, how do you afford to have 4 kids? They're not asking just about everyday things. They're wondering about childcare because most homes in our country are dual income homes like mine. And we need things like childcare and summer camp. And this is why most people are opting to have 1, 2, or no kids at all. It is so incredibly expensive. And then you do things like extracurricular activities, which adds up too, right? My toddler does toddler gymnastics with me because I want her to do things outside of daycare. And her sisters also do gymnastics. Each girl is like $100 to $150 a month for just like a basic 45-minute gymnastics class. My son does Taekwondo, which he absolutely loves, but the cost just keeps going up. It is now $165 a month for Taekwondo. That's 2 classes a week. And then every time they earn a new belt or anything like that, they just charge you like 30 to 50 bucks for the new belt or whatever it might be. It is insanely expensive to raise kids these days. And obviously most of us, or I do at least, I want my kids to have things like extracurricular activities. I want them to be able to do things like that. And it's funny because people will be like, $60,000 a year, that's insane. You should just quit your job. But I make enough money where it makes sense to pay that. But also, the long-term financial goals for our family requires me working full-time. And even if you took away the childcare cost, but then you took away my job, our bills would still exceed that. Like, I need a job. I need some sort of job. And so this is like the hamster wheel so many parents find themselves on, where it's like, I can't afford to work because childcare is so expensive, but I also can't afford not to work because everything else, like groceries in my house and bills, are so expensive. And so you're stuck in this place where you're paying so much money for childcare. Like, it is our most expensive thing, obviously, every single month. And even if we only had 2 kids, right, what most people have, the average 2 kids, we would still be paying about $40,000 a year in childcare. It's not much different. It is insane.